Hello and welcome. While the world watches drone footages of Tehran and missile strikes in Red Sea, the real war is not being fought with gunpowder. It is being fought with math. Specifically, a 600 trillion debt bomb that the Iran-Israel conflict just ignited. Remember my warning about the 600 trillion kill switch? Well, the finger is now on the button. As the Strait of Hormuz choked, the petrodollar is not just dying, it is being liquidated. If you think this is just about gas prices, you are missing the $100 trillion shadow market that is about to implode. Today, we go in focus to see the trigger no one else is talking about. As of today, the situation in the Strait of Hormuz has moved from tension to catastrophe. We are talking about 20 million barrels of oils, 20% of the global supply, squeezing through a 21-mile wide neck of water. While the media shows you pictures of sinking ships and missiles, they are ignoring the digital slaughter happening on Wall Street. Here is the fact that mainstream media is afraid to touch. For every physical barrel of oil floating in that water, there are thousands of dollars in paper bets circulating in the global financial system. This is the world of derivatives bets on future price of oil, the stability of the dollar and the volatility of the market itself. When the Houthis entered the war this week, and maritime traffic dropped by 70%. It did not just stop steel tankers, it stopped the heartbeat of global finance, but for a select few, not for everyone. This catastrophe is $1 billion payday for a lot of people. To understand, today we have to look back. We have seen this movie before as well. Think back to when Mr. Donald Trump would tweet about a potential peace deal or a sudden troop withdrawals. Minute before those announcements, we saw massive, unexplained spikes in put and call options. In some cases, anonymous traders in the US earned hundreds of millions of dollars in a single afternoon because they knew the peace or war headline is coming. They were not trading oil, they were trading information. Yes, you are right. In March 2026, the same game is being played. I have tracked the flow. Just before the Houthi missiles launched this week, the volatility index, the VIX, saw a surge in buy orders from offshore accounts. Someone knew the kill switch was about to be flipped. While you watch your gas prices rise at the pump, the paper architects are chasing on the chaos they helped predict or perhaps helped provoke. This is why the Hormuz closure is a systematic kill switch. When the physical oil stops moving, the paper bets cannot be settled. It creates a liquidity black hole. If a bank bet the oil would stay at $80 and it hits $120 because of a drone strike, that bank suddenly owes billions they do not have. This is not just the economy. This is a leveraged casino built on top of a war zone. And as of today, the casino is burning. Now let's go a little bit deeper into what I call the kill switch. While the average person in the US and Europe is watching the news in fear, a very different conversation is happening in the private offices of Washington and Wall Street. The global derivatives market is currently estimated at over 600 trillion. Some experts looking at the shadow banking sector say it is actually closer to a quadrillion. That's $1,000 trillion. To put that in perspective, that is over 10 times of the GDP of the entire planet. These are not just investments. What are they? They are complex, highly leveraged bets on interest rates, currency values, and most importantly right now, energy prices. As of this week, till March 30, the math of Western banks is officially failing, with Brent crude oil surging past $114 and the Dubai benchmark, the one that actually prices Middle Eastern oil, exploding to $120. The volatility has broken the models. Major EU banks are currently operating on 30 to 1 leverage. This means for every $1 of real capital they have placed $30 worth of bets. When oil prices swing 10% in a single day, it does not just hurt the bank, it wipes them out. It literally wipes them out. It triggers what we call a margin call. The casino boss has walked up to the table and demanded cash that these banks simply do not have. This is the secret reason why the Pentagon is deploying thousands of troops and the 82nd Airborne to West Asia right now. It's not just about protecting borders. It is not. Or protecting allies. It is a desperate attempt to subsidize the balance sheet of Wall Street. The US military is being used as a physical hedge to force oil prices down and prevent a total collapse of the 600 trillion paper bubble. But here is the most cynical part of the kill switch. While you all are worried about the prices of bread or the safety of the soldiers, people inside and outside the US administration are making generational wealth of this chaos. We saw this pattern during the Trump years previously. The famous Trump volatility, a single tweet about ending a war or imposing a tariff would move markets by billions. We are seeing it again. Just days before the Houthis' escalation, billions of dollars in call options were placed on oil by anonymous offshore accounts. I have talked about it earlier as well. Some call it luck. I call it insider geopolitics. When you have a seat at the table where the war is planned, you know exactly when the kill switch will be flipped. For the common man, war is a tragedy of inflation and loss as well. For the paper architects, war is the ultimate buy signal. They are not just winning the war, they are winning the wealth of the next century. Yes, you are right. Now we reach to the most critical part of this conversation. Iran has just made a move that changes the global chessboard forever. They are offering guaranteed safe passage to any oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz, but only if that oil is bought and sold in Chinese yuan. For 50 years, the global economy rested on a secret treaty, the Petrodollar. Since 1974, every nation on earth had to hold US dollars to buy energy. We all know this. This created an artificial infinite demand for the greenback. But that treaty did not just expire this month, it was slaughtered or executed. As of March, we are witnessing the decoupling of energy from dollar. When India settles oil trades in rupees and Iran demands yuan, the recycling mechanism stops. Normally, those oil dollars would flow back into US Treasury bonds, funding the American lifestyle, its infrastructures, and its military. Today, that flow has turned into a drought. This is called the birth of the resource-based order. We are moving from a rules-based order where the US made the rules to a resource-based order where the person with the oil, the lithium, and the gas sets the price. But what does that mean for the common person? If you are living in the US or in the EU, you are currently holding a currency that is losing its primary reason for existence. For decades, the US could print trillions of dollars because the rest of the world had to absorb them to buy oil. Now those trillions are coming home. When the world no longer needs dollar to buy energy, they start selling their dollar reserves. This creates a tidal wave of currency returning to US shores. To the person watching this in a suburb of Ohio or Oregon or in London, this isn't just a headline. It is the reason your grocery bill has doubled. It is the reason your saving account is losing 10% of its purchasing power every few months. While the elites in the administration are hedging their wealth into gold, land, and yuan-dominated assets, the common citizen is left holding a paper anchor that is dragging them into a new era of permanent inflation. So let's talk about market reaction. The stock market knows this. Why do you think tech stocks are volatile while commodities are hitting all-time high? The smart money is fleeing the paper economy and hiding in hard assets. They are front-running the collapse. By the time the mainstream media admits the petrodollar is dead, the transition of wealth from the middle class to resource elite will be completed. You are not just watching a war in the Middle East. You are watching the controlled demolition of your purchasing power. So what happens next? We have seen the physical war in Hormuz, the 600 trillion paper gamble, and the death of petrodollar. Now we look at the inevitable fallout. As we move into the second quarter of 2026, the invisible war becomes a visible economic reality for every household in the United States. Here are my 3 strategic predictions for the upcoming months. The number 1 is the leaking bubble. Expect the 600 trillion derivatives bubble to start leaking. We have already seen the cracks in the EU banking sectors this week. When the paper oil bets fail to settle because the physical oil is stuck in the Strait of Hormuz, the system seizes up. To prevent a total global blackout, you will see emergency liquidity injections from the Federal Reserve and the ECB that will make the 2008 bailout look like a rehearsal. They will print trillions to save the architects of these paper bets. But remember, every dollar printed to save a bank in New York is a dollar that devalues the savings in your pocket. Number 2. While the West prints paper, the East is collecting gold. Watch for the official launch of the BRICS unit. This is not just another digital coin. It is a cross-border currency backed 40% by physical gold and 60% by a basket of sovereign currencies. This is the resource-based order. As I mentioned earlier, by anchoring their trade to gold, the BRICS Plus nations are effectively opting out of the USD inflation cycle. If you are an oil producer, would you rather take a paper dollar that loses value every day or a gold unit that represents real tangible wealth? The answer is already being written in the trade deals between Riyadh, Tehran, and Beijing. And number 3, finally, for the common people in the US and EU, the energy shock of the March 2026 is about to morph into systematic inflation. Normally, central banks fight inflation by raising interest rates, but you cannot. Interest rates your way out of a shortage of oil. You cannot hike your way out of the death of the petrodollar. This is a supply side collapse. When the cost of moving every truck, every ship, and every airplane stays permanently high because the dollar is no longer the oil king, the price of everything from bread to bricks will rest at a much higher floor. This is a permanent inflation era. This brings us back to the beginning. Why are the insiders making millions while you worry about the war? Because they know this transition is happening. They are moving their paper wealth into resource wealth before the doors close. The war in the Middle East is the catalyst. But the 600 trillion kill switch is the mechanism for the greatest wealth transfer in human history. The map is being redrawn, and as always, the price of admission is the truth. What we have uncovered today is not just a military conflict in the Middle East. It is the deliberate flipping of a 600 trillion kill switch from the paper bets that enrich the few to the death of the 50 years Petrodollar treaty that protected the many. The world as we know it has ended. While the headlines keep you focused on the smoke of war, the resource based order is already claiming its throne. Do not just watch the collapse, understand it. Subscribe, hit the notification button, and join our mission to stay in focus. And before you go, tell me in the comments, do you believe the US military in the Strait of Hormuz to keep the peace or to save the balance sheet of Wall Street? This is Dr. Adeel, and you are watching In Focus with Dr. Adeel. Thank you very much.